What's going on, everybody? Sean Daniel with GuitarControl.com here, and today we are going to talk about an artist who exists at the perfect intersection of manliness and emotion. Bob Seger and his Silver Bullet Band with the song Against the Wind. So definitely make sure to hit the link below to grab the chord chart because it'll be easier to follow along. But this is a super simple song that everybody should know, a really great practice in strumming and just song structure. And we're going to get right to it. There's an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, and an outro. All of them use the same basic chords in the key of G, which means we're going to start off with a G chord, okay? Now, the chords are actually pretty easy for the song, but the structure and the strumming is what I really want to focus on. And we're just going to start with the intro, which is just a couple bars of a G major chord, okay? Now, the strumming is really simple. It goes like this. Now, some of you may be accustomed to thinking in down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. But I think it's really valuable to start counting in numbers, right? So when we say a bar of music, usually we mean 4 beats. And when we count, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. In between those numbers those are all downbeats, those numbers. In between those are ands. So I want to really start working on counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, because it is so much better for your musicianship, and it'll be so much easier to start tackling more complicated patterns in the future, right? So this one is going to be a 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and pattern. All that means is down are all the numbers, so 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and. So the word and is an upstroke, the numbers are down. Having good counting is a way to always stay in time. Otherwise, you're just stabbing at moments in time, right? So the intro is super simple. It's just a couple bars of G. It's always going to be down on the 1. We're going to skip the upstroke, the and of 1, as we're going to call it. And then we're going to hit every other note in the bar, or every other beat in the bar, which is 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now, if we're playing solo acoustic guitar, usually this is the Silver Bullet Band, all doing their thing together. We want to kind of mimic what the percussion section is doing. Now, if you listen, you can hear that the snare hit on the drum kit is being hit on the 2 and the 4. So already the numbers are coming in handy because we can kind of add a little extra sauce, a little extra power to the 2 and 4 counts. So we've got a 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and 3 and 4 and. And already it's sounding more dynamic and it's sounding more like a band would play it, right? So the verses are really simple. It's 2 bars of G major, 2 bars of B minor, to 1 bar of C, to 1 of G, then 1 of C, to 1 of D, and then again to the G, right? So lyrically this is the seems like yesterday to be, but it was long ago. And that B minor is something I really want to talk about because B minor can be a tricky chord for beginner and intermediate players. So I really want you to focus on making this transition from a G major to a B minor, right? And if you just have to drill this, even if it's out of the context of the song and the tempo of the song, just really focus on anchoring this pointer finger down on 2A and then rotating your wrist to get to it, right? G, B minor, G, B minor. Your index finger doesn't have to leave the fretboard. And that's a good way to kind of practice just gathering your fingers around there. Now, the beauty of this strumming pattern, and you can use this in any other song, is counting, having the and of 4, that last beat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. That last upstroke, you can actually abandon the chord to make the next chord during that upstroke and just kind of get the open string set, right? So like 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, right? So if you just kind of have the and of 4 as it's called and have that open, that can kind of be a deadline for your hand to meet the next chord, right? And it'll always sound fine. Even if you're in a different key, usually it still sounds fine because it happens so quickly, it's almost just a transitional element between chords, right? So whatever tempo you play the song at, make sure it's a tempo that you can use to make that next chord. If it takes you like a full second to get from down, up, down, that should be the tempo that you play the song at. Because if you stop strumming, like if your strumming sounds like this, then that's not really, you're still practicing the chord shapes, but you're not practicing good timing. And when it comes to acoustic guitar songs like this, timing is of the utmost importance. It's always better to play badly in time than to play decently out of time, right? And it's much easier to correct mistakes in time, and training good timing into your playing is a must-have for any musician. So now the second time around on the verse, we do it a little bit differently. Everything is the same until the very end when we get to the pre-chorus. And the pre-chorus is going to start with an E minor. So basically we're going to do the same chord progression. G, 2 bars, B minor, 1 bar of C, a bar of G, and then we're going to go to a D, right? And what I did there is I just took where we used to have a C and a D at the end of the verse. We're just doing 1 D, 2 bars, dynamically lifting it into the pre-chorus that starts with that E minor, right? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to play the first of those 2 bars of D, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and just like the other ones. And then the second bar, we're going to go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay? So I turned it after the 1 and, I turned them all into downstrokes. 2, and 3, and 4, and. And the volume is raising a little bit until we get to that. That's kind of like a big part of the song. So dynamically playing will really kind of help with like the storytelling of the song and to just make it kind of more interesting to play, more interesting for people to listen to, etc., etc. So after we get off of this last D major chord, we're going to go to an E minor, right? So we're introducing this E minor chord into the progression. So it's just open E, to A, to D, and then everything else is open, right? So basically we're going to go E to D to G. So this E minor and D major split the bar. We can do it the exact same way. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now the second time we do it, it's going to be E minor, C major, G major. So lyrically the pre-chorus is the, and I remember what she said to me, how she told me it would never ever end. So it's kind of the same strumming pattern over and over again. Now the third time it's E, D, C, and we kind of hang on this C to go back to D, and then the chorus, okay? So remember that it's just kind of like, I think of this as 3 times around, starting on an E minor, D, G, then E minor, C, G, and then E minor, D, C, hang around here, and then to the D to get to the chorus. So the chorus chords with the lyrics is like against the wind, B minor to C. We were running against the wind. And then we have that kind of walk back, right? The C to the B minor to the A to the C to the G. So we're going to split the bar again, and we're going to descend. We're going to take a C to a B minor to an A. You can think going backwards, C, B, A, back to C and G. So it's going to sound like this. I'm older now, but still running against the wind. So after you do that kind of vocal run at the end, there's some space in there. It's just the intro again. So the intro, just hanging on that G for a couple bars. You can kind of just do to glue the end of the chorus to the next verse together, and then you just start the whole thing over again. All right, so the outro is where you can really let your inner Bob Seger shine, because we just have these 2 chords. It's just a C to a G. So basically what's going on is we have the last chorus. I'm older now, but still running against the wind. And then it goes to the C with the background. It's against the wind. And then it's just a couple bars of each chord, against the wind. And then Bob Seger just kind of comes in with his Bob Seger thing, right? Like, see the young man run! I was running against the wind, against the wind. Let the cowboys ride against the wind. So my beard is not currently manly enough to do that justice, but yeah, you kind of get the idea. So basically, it is an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, and an outro, all using kind of the same dynamic strumming patterns, etc. So make sure you click the link to get the chords so you can practice this on your own. Definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please tell me what more you guys want to see, maybe some stuff you like, some stuff you don't like, and we'll definitely keep cranking out more videos. So in the next time, I will see you later.